Hello, friends. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning at different parts of the world. Thank you for joining us today, and a very special thanks for inviting me in this session, Mehfil e Music. And I must thank from the bottom of my heart Pandit Devashish Bhattacharya for having invited me. And he has a set of questions that he wants me to answer and talk about uh, in this session. And soon after this, he wants me to join him on Instagram live. So I'm just waiting for his questions. Meanwhile, I hope you all are coping with this difficult situation. I hope you all are safe, staying healthy, taking care and looking after yourselves. And I hope you all remain healthy and safe in the months to come. Everyone's going, uh, everyone is very, very concerned about the situation, and it's natural to be concerned because it is a difficult period. But as you all know, music is the healing agent, or something that heals us internally, because Indian classical music is an inward journey, and in this inward journey, it gives us an opportunity to really dwell deep into our uh, energy body and heal us. And I'm sure being in a musical atmosphere will definitely help enhance and help creating the immunity that we all need now. So let me just play a short piece. Excuse me. A short piece just to start off with. uh, and then I'll talk about my guru. I'm Devashish Bhai has asked me to speak about my guru or my gurus. So let me just start off with a very favorite composition of my Ustad Guru and Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab. So that was a little short introduction, or rather just a very, very small glimpse of my Ustad's creation. And what can I say about Ustad Allah Rakat Khan Sahab? Where to start from? Because he was such an incredible person, my guru, my mentor, my guide, philosopher. I mean, apart from tabla, of course he taught me everything in tabla. But apart from tabla, he showed me he introduced me to a very beautiful philosophy of life. Because for him, music was not just a subject to be practiced, learned, and performed. Music was a way of life for him. And through his music sadhana, he instilled, uh, in all of us, in all my Guru Bhais and Guru Behns, he instilled some very, very deep values of life: dedication, shraddha, bhakti, and commitment, loyalty, and faith. Faith in hard work, faith in your Guru, faith in the Guru Shakti. All these things were a process with him right from the beginning. Of course, apart from taking lessons in tabla, this was an incredibly enriching experience for me in my life. I spent 23 years learning with him and being with him, knowing him as a guru, experiencing him from close, feeling his vibrations, when he used to give me talim, it was like a constant flow of energy from him. So, some incredible sanskars he gave me, some incredible insights in the world of tabla, and the capacity to think by oneself. There were so many concepts that he made us think on. He made us thinkers on what he had taught us, on the talim that he gave us. He also showed us how to think on it. And this started when I was just 9 years old. I became his Gandaband disciple. But before that, my father started teaching me right at the age of 4, a very tender age. I was very small. I have very faint memories of my father teaching me and giving me the first lessons in tabla. And soon after that, there was a short gap of a couple of years, and then 2 or 3 years, and then that's it. I was with Allah Rakat Khan Sahab. And I studied with him for 23 years. And through this journey, this beautiful journey, I not only experienced the deepest talim in this performing art. As I said earlier, I experienced an incredible all-round learning experience, all-round sanskars that I received from him. And he made us not only good musicians, his talim not only made us good musicians, but good human beings. He was a person who loved performing puja of Lord Ganesha in the class before starting on every Tuesday. So there were so many things, small such things that were important to him. And students were introduced to these sanskars. And these sanskars of having shraddha, bhakti, devotion, it all matters in the whole picture of being, developing as an artist. It's very important, all these qualities. So having said that, there are some more questions that Devashish Bhai has come up with. Devashish Bhai wants me to speak about how Punjab Gharana, which was my Ustad's Gharana, how it is different from other Gharanas like Farrukhabad or Delhi or Ajrada Gharana or Lucknow Gharana or Banaras Gharana. There are 6 Gharanas including Punjab Gharana, as you all know. Whatever I could get in terms of talim from Ustad Alar Khan Sahab, whatever insight I could get, and whatever I could study from that about Punjab Gharana, I will share that with you. And Punjab Gharana essentially was, it started off as a Pakhawaj Gharana, and so open-handed strokes. When Pakhawaj is played, everyone knows that it's a lateral drum and played from the side, and that was the main instrument in this Gharana right from the beginning. And as it developed, I must say here that Delhi Gharana was the first Gharana to explore tabla, with the first usage of tabla technique with the 2 fingers of both hands, the index and middle finger of both hands. This is it's common knowledge to most tabla players and tabla lovers that Delhi Gharana and then Lucknow Gharana, it branched off into Lucknow and then Farrukhabad and Ajrada Gharana as well, and then from Lucknow Gharana started Banaras Gharana. And Punjab Gharana was geographically very separate from all these Gharanas that happened in the Indian subcontinent. To the northwest of Punjab, which is now Pakistan. So, being a Pakhawaj Gharana, let me very quickly, because time is short and this is a very big, it's a very, very huge topic, and I won't be able to cover all the details. I won't be able to cover all the intricate details within such a short period, but to give you a very, very brief idea of what Punjab Gharana, how it started and how it, what the salient features are. Now let's look at the three main topics that actually, or 3 main characteristics that make a Gharana. One is the technique. One is the very special construction and phraseology of the Gharana, how phrases are arranged. And the third is the great ustads that happened to that Gharana and contributed to that Gharana. So, every Gharana has a particular typical style of construction of phrases. And because predominantly Punjab Gharana was a Pakhawaj Gharana that played Todas, Tukras, Ghats, Chakradhars, fixed composition repertoire, not very much in those days as it was developing, not very much of the expandable section of Peshkar or Qaida was played initially. So the language, the peculiar phrases that probably we can identify is what comes from the Gat, Tukra and Chakradhar repertoire. So things like Taginatan, Dhit Pradhan, Dhit Dhage Ding Nage Tit Kata, धीरे धीरे के धाड़ दा धीरे धीरे के धाड़ दा धीमे धीमे आ देना. So this kind of phraseology and also Punjab Gharana was famous for the Geet Angi or the Deep Chandi, the sevens, the Gat Chakradar in sevens, which is called Deep Chandi or Geet Angi. So धाकट धीरे धीरे धाड़ धाती धीरे धीरे दी धीरे धीरे गे दी. And of course the common language between most gharanas is taran, gharan, katan. These are common phrases that appear in most gharanas. But what I demonstrated, a few demonstrations, a few examples that I gave now was very special to Punjab Gharana. Dhana Nana and Kirta Takar Dhina Kirta Takar Dhina Kirta Takar Dha Dhana Nana Dha. These kinds of combinations appear in tukras, appear in guts, in chakradars. Then, as it evolved, even the expandable repertoire came into being, because obviously there was a lot of give and take between many gharanas. Delhi Gharana contributed to the expandable variety like Chakrada, like Qaeda and Peshka. And so, as gharanas were evolving, these ideas were obviously exchanged between gharanas. And then Punjab Gharana also explored Peshkar and Qaeda. And my Dada Guru, Ustad Mia Kader Baksh, played quite a few of those Qaedas. His contemporaries played, his disciples also did. And his father, Mia Fakir Baksh Khan Sahab, also contributed to some of the fixed composition repertoire as well as the expanded. Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab's Dada Guru, Mia Fateh Deen. Mia Fateh Deen was responsible in learning all the repertoire, most of the talim from Mia Fakir Baksh Khan Sahab and contributing his own dimensions as well, his dimensions of creativity. And there were many other great names like Nabi Baksh Khan Sahab, Meera Baksh Gilwaliye, all these ustads, names of whom people this side of India actually they don't know. Because of partition, we lost a lot of this tradition after partition, after Pakistan came into being, after India and Pakistan separated. Unfortunately, a lot of the repertoire, a lot of this tradition was lost. But whatever we could salvage, it was also because of Ustad Feroz Khan Sahab, who came to Calcutta and taught a lot of repertoire to Pandit Gyan Prakash Ghosh, Gyan Babu. And he got a lot of repertoire from Punjab Gharana to Calcutta, to that side of India. And so he was also a major contributor. So, as I said, I just opened with a Qaeda composition of my Ustad to give you a glimpse of a few of the various repertoire of Punjab Gharana. I'll demonstrate a short Qaeda first of Mia Karam Ilahi, and very short demonstrations, and then maybe 2 or 3 fixed compositions to give you an idea of some old Punjab flavor. This was a short Qaida rendition of Mia Karam Ilahi. So, Qaida concept kept developing. It was then prolifically explored by other tabla players also. Ustad Karim Baksh Perna, Ustad Allah Ditta Khan Sahab, Bihari Puria. All these were great names in Punjab Gharana, and all these tabla players explored the improvisational section in terms of Qaida, Peshkar and Rela in great detail and in great variety. So, and then of course my Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab, he provided his dimension to Qaida compositions as well. So, let me just give you a glimpse of his creation, Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab. this was my Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab's Qaida composition. And I think I'll move on to some fixed compositions before it is time for us to move on to Instagram. I still have about 5 or 10 minutes. So let me start with a composition of Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab and then demonstrate to you some other compositions. I'll name the composers. So compositions are in hundreds and thousands. I know a few, and a very important aspect of my life, which I would like to mention here. After having received such intense taaleem from Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab, in 2000, after Allah Rakha Khan Sahab, my Ustad ji, passed on, there was a very big void that I experienced for a long period. And of course, Abbaji, as we affectionately called him, he gave us a lot of taaleem, a lot of insight, a lot of nazar, the power to see and go ahead. But when your guru is not with you anymore, obviously you, as a human being, it's human to feel that void. And I must say that in 2006, I met with a very, very incredibly knowledgeable, a very, very deep thinker, and a profound composer, Pandit Sushil Kumar Jain. And he came into my life, and my association with him ever since 2006, even till today, remains alive and fresh with me in my in my journey of music. And he was instrumental in passing on his own creations to me, which gave me a number of compositions, from Gat, Tukras, Chakradars, many beautiful qaidas, most of which were his own creations apart from creations of great maestros like Feroz Khan Sahab, Baba Malan Khan Sahab, Ustad Fakir Baksh Khan Sahab. Jain Sahab, as we all affectionately call him, like a guru figure to me, contributed immensely to all the knowledge I received earlier in more than 2 decades from Ustad Allah Rakha Khan Sahab. This gave me, Jain Sahab's repertoire gave me further deeper insight into the possibilities of phrases and language of the Punjab Gharana. And therefore, it gave me a deeper insight into the vocabulary, the possibility of vocabulary of Punjab Gharana that existed before, but what can be conceived further is something what I could further see after learning compositions of Pandit Sushil Kumar Jain. Excuse me. So, I will now play a few compositions. Maybe 2 or 3 compositions. One of Pandit Sushil Kumar Jain, one of Zakir Bhai, Ustad Zakir Hussain, who is also a very creative and imaginative composer, and then maybe finish with a composition of traditional Punjab Gharana. So, starting with Ustad Zakir Hussain. Composition of Guru Pandit Sushil Kumar Jain. Three times over. Famous Punjab Gharana compositions. Geetangi in 7. Sin Din Ta. Ustad Feroz Khan sahab. Chakradar. So these were a few compositions of very special to Punjab Gharana. The many hundreds of variety of compositions, incredible language, which is very special to Punjab Gharana. Like all other Gharanas have their own peculiarity, own speciality. Every Gharana is beautiful. This abstract art form has been explored in various different dimensions and ways by great ustads since the last, and great composers since the last 3 centuries, I would say, approximately. And so, like each Gharana, Punjab Gharana stands out in its flavor, its character, and is a very profoundly rich Pakhawaj Gharana, but has significantly contributed to the tabla repertoire as well. So I hope you enjoyed this little nutshell presentation of Punjab Gharana, and I hope I did justice to Devashish Bhai's questions. I would like you all to join us, Devashish Bhai and myself, now just immediately on Instagram. That was his plan, to start off on Facebook and then move to Instagram. So in the next couple of minutes, he's going to have further dialogue, further question and answers on Instagram, and he has got so many more questions which I couldn't answer on Facebook in such a short period. So he wants me to join him on Instagram. So please, friends, move to Instagram, join us there, and enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you very much.